Birds fly over the rainbow, white and white cloud.
The selection committee is comprised of individuals from 4 Kansas organizations: the Kansas Commission on Aerospace Education, the Kansas Aviation Advisory Council, the Kansas State Historical Society, and the Kansas Aviation Museum, with oversight from the Governor's Office and the Department of Transportation. Fred, will you please come forward and receive the award? Frank Martin was born a salesman, proving to be successful in the sale of carbon paper and typewriter ribbon in Trenton, New Jersey. Frank loved to make sales calls to the local airports to watch the small aircraft take to the sky. Eventually, he succumbed to the introductory $3 ride, and he was hooked, where he purchased a J3 Cub for $900. Building his flying time by teaching others to fly, he began selling Luscombs in Pennsylvania on a trial basis. World War II changed Frank Martin's career of sales into deliveries. He spent 4 years in the Army Air Transport Command, delivering B-26s, B-17s, B-24s, C-87s, and C-109s across the hump in India, and B-29s out of Wichita for armed forces in Europe. After the war, Martin accepted a regional Cessna sales position with Don Flower, covering the West Coast. Later, he accepted a sales manager position with Cessna and became vice president of marketing. He flew Cessnas on sales trips outside the United States to Europe and South America to develop the company's export market. In 1966, he directed an astonishing pilot-creating strategy by increasing the production of the Model 150 trainer and infused the market with a vast supply of the two-place aircraft for a selling price of only $7,000. In 1970, Martin became president of the Mooney Airplane Company and shortly became CEO of Mooney's parent company, Butler Aviation International. Frank Martin's efforts brought hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue to Kansas, which employed thousands of aircraft workers and contributed enormously to the global stature of Kansas aviation. Please join me in congratulating the family of Frank Martin for receiving the Kansas Aviation Hall of Fame Award and being accepted by his son, Fred Martin of Bloomfield, Colorado.
In October 1945, our dad flew a B-29 from Las Vegas to Walker, Kansas. It was the last 4-engine aircraft he would ever pilot. It was 6 months later until he flew another airplane. It was quite a different aircraft type, an 85 horsepower, 2-seat Cessna Model 140. Now you can land a 140 within 2 wingspans of a B-29. He'd taken the job to sell Wichita-built airplanes. And that led to me being able to grow up in the air capital of the world. And so some of the faces in the Hall of Fame are familiar to me. In fact, a couple of them used to muss my hair and call me Freddie. And the same was true for my sister, Benny Brooke Stiles. She began her college out here in Sterling, Kansas, and proceeded through the Sorbonne and Purdue and is a college professor in St. Pete. And we have my dad's favorite niece, our cousin Virginia, from Denver. Jenny is the boss cowgirl of the Wilson Rio Grande Ranch in southern Colorado, and Jenny earned her master's degree at the University of Wichita. And about 50 years ago, she was the assistant to the director of the Wichita Art Museum. So this is a great honor, but more than that, it feels very much like a homecoming for us, as I'm sure it does for my dad. Thank you so much for this recognition for him and this honor for our family. Thank you.